Let's play! Hey guys, welcome back to some more Hate Plus. Let's continue reading some more documents. We learned last time that apparently the employer wants Hyune, which isn't good. And we also read some more about Mei and as well as Hyo Sung-bak. Was that? Yes. Okay. How? By Mei Jina. Dear Diary, I can't believe she'd do that to me. I hate her. She's the worst. I hope she gets... Oh, well, here's where the hate in the title comes from. Which I took me a while to realize it's like a pun on Love Plus, the dating sim games. Okay, here we go. I hope she gets what she deserves from the man she decided to leave me for. How could she do that to me? Hate. I was at the theater to tell her my decision. Oh no. Oh geez. I just realized how badly I screwed that up for me. All because I was stupid enough to be love-struck by that stupid, selfish woman. Oh no, what am I gonna do now? I was at the theater to tell her about my decision, about that man my parents wanted me to marry. He was just so icky, I told her. He's like a dozen years older than me, and his beard was just like, yuck. Well, I'm sure you could convince him to shave it, she said distantly. I was surprised. Don't defend him. I could never be with someone like that. Besides, I'd have to be away from you, and I could never. I trailed off. Anyway, I told him no. I was totally uninterested. And that he should go find some girl that his age, and maybe ask her directly instead of going around her parents. Her father was upset, but I had to, so that's the end of that. We have to break up, she said suddenly. Nothing else, nothing leading into it, just that. I don't really remember what I said. I don't think I believed her. I know I stammered a lot. Probably, what? There's a patron who'd like to buy me out and take me into his house. Something I've considered for a long time now. I'm afraid it's just come to the point where it's the only recourse I can take, she said. He's made a very generous offer, and I fear it would be unwise of me to decline it. Buy you out? What does that even mean? I asked. Are you going to move in with this man? It means I'll receive a regular stipend for performing for him and his guests exclusively. And that, yes, I will live in his house and receive 3 cooked meals a day and an actual bed to sleep in, she said. I have to. We get smaller and smaller audiences each week. It just isn't tenable. I just couldn't believe it. My mind raced. I just turned down an offer like that for her sake. She did this to me? Is it that man I saw you with before? The one you've been doing all those private shows for? The one who was all in your face and touching you and all, oh, my precious Ae-jong, I would be honored to slobber all over you like some gross man. Please come into my house now. He was Canadian. I demanded. That guy from the Ryu house you said you didn't want to have anything to do with? I agree, she's being a little harsh, but I mean, love is weird. And as is hate. That isn't fair. Yes, it is him, but... She trailed off. Yeah, I bet you he'll give you a bed to sleep in, I shouted. Don't say that, Jina. It's not like that. She lied. Ooh, I'm not sure. Besides, even were it like that, I no longer have the luxury of being picky. If I said no, what would I do when the theater closed down? At least you can live with your parents still. I have no such option. The man has made a kind and generous offer, and I must accept it. I can't believe it, I said, crying. I thought you loved me. I thought you cared for me. But... You're better off without me anyway, she said. Then she told me. I can't really remember her exact words, but she told me that I didn't have to feel as strongly about her, that she didn't feel as strongly about me as I did for her, and that she regretted being a crutch for me as long as she did, that our relationship was a mistake, and that we should have done this far sooner. Ooh, I was in that place once. Ooh. Fine, I screamed at her. If that's how it is, fine. I'll get out of your life and leave you alone to your precious, kind, and generous man. I started to storm off. Wait, please don't leave like that. Please stay, she begged. Our relationship is doomed, but it doesn't mean I don't like being with you. Please stay one more night. I couldn't bear it if my last memory of you was a sad one. I thought her voice was always so graceful before. right then I realized it wasn't. It was pitiful. It was always pitiful. She was trying to manipulate me. Probably like she'd done with that patron. Probably like she'd done with me before. It wasn't charming. It wasn't playful elegance. It was a pitiful lie. So I told her, "I hate you!" I screamed at her and ran away. I don't know what to do now. I tried not to let my family see me like this, but, well, there's only one paper screen in between us. I'm such a mess. I just can't believe she'd do that to me. I can't believe, after I made that hard decision, she made the easy one and threw me away. Writing this has calmed me down a little, at least. And now the reality sinks in. I have nothing now. I guess all I can do now is apologize to my dad and hope that I can get a second chance. I guess that's all I can do. I can't believe she'd do that to me. I hate her. Wowee! We're going into the hard-hitting stuff now. Okay, so now we're back into more bureaucracy, bureaucrat class act. Let's get straight to the most important item of this session, the bureaucrat class act. Otherwise known as the cleaning up the mess that everyone should have seen coming a year ago act. Counselor? Don't counselor me. Can we acknowledge for the record that this is an attempt at damage control for the idiotic One Lineage amendment? Is this level of pettiness truly necessary? You know it's always necessary, though? The answer is justice. I really think you're out of line, too. I'm glad you've offered your obligatory throwaway opinion for the session, Counselor Han. That's how I sort of feel, too, in all honesty. What? Are we done with the derailment, Counselor Mute? No derailment for me. Clearly it's important to put this act through. I just want to start off by acknowledging, for the record, that this is a direct response to the problems caused by the One Lineage amendment. That's all. Fine. Noted. Now can we move on? Sure. Go ahead. You have the floor, Counselor Smith. Contrary to what Counselor Mute says, this has nothing to do with the One Lineage amendment. The purpose of the act is to weaken the lower class by dividing them. You mean the class that we bolstered, that's the word, by alienating new noble families with, like, every single session of council? Didn't you say you'd stop? You know it's not gonna stop, though, Justice. I don't think I could be any more blunt. This isn't related to the One Lineage amendment. The goal is to create a new social class with a higher standing than the peasantry without nearly as high as it costs to us as the noble families. There's about 10 appendices that outline the whole proposed arrangement. Is there room for debate on these numbers? Heavens, no. As I understand, it's a very delicate budget. There's really no room for any amendment. Understood. Not everything needs to be a giant hostile debate, despite the Council of Security's penchant for it. Surely we can agree on Council Ryu's proposal without any further debate. We can also agree on justice. I'm gonna bring justice into every single sentence I say. Well, not sentence, paragraph. Because Councilor Yang speaks in paragraphs. Okay. I'm not going to dignify that, but I'm pretty sure you meant Counselor Smith. Yes, I misspoken, but this is pedantry. Counselor Yang likes big words. Then does anyone object? I'll second a motion to vote, if you need one. Nope, I don't object. There will be no objections. A vote will automatically be called. How does the council vote? Council of Security is in favor. That's a surprise. You know, it's not a surprise, Justice. This is not the time or place for your pettiness, okay? Just register your vote. You're one to talk, but of course I'm in favor of justice. Likewise. The Council of Agriculture is in favor. The Council of Culture is in favor. Council of Engineering and Science is in favor. Council of Captaincy is in favor. Naturally, Council of State is in favor. The act passes unanimously then, and shall be sent directly to the President for signing. Since there isn't anything really else important on the agenda, I move to dismiss Council. We're actually in agreement. The notion is seconded. Council will reconvene at a date to be determined next month. Dismissed. Dismissed. Alright, and finally we have fired. Ooh, this doesn't sound good. Alright, so we have Kim So-yi. If you remember, she's the scientist lady. Alright. Apartment status. No time to make the bed this morning. Joke's on me. Dishes needs to be washed, and broken mixing bowls need replacing. Floors need to be swept. In retrospect, I suppose it was an inevitability. For the last month, I was the only woman in the department still left, excluding custodial services and the like. Certainly the last with any sort of engineering qualifications at all. Most quit. My mother tells me that all of them are pregnant now. I didn't suppose that my position might be in peril. I assumed that I would continue to work in engineering forever, even given the pay cuts, considering the possibility that I'm actually a naive idiot. Yesterday, I delivered my report on the radiation problem to the research chief. The entire presentation took an hour, covering most of the material in the 100-page report. And he seemed to find my conclusions both reasonable and useful. At least, he said as much, and he was taking notes the whole time. He seemed satisfied that I had proven the hypothesis, that the increased levels of ambient radiation had a negative impact on the fertility rates. I would like to extend this research further, I told him. I have reason to believe that not only could it hypothetically have an impact, but that the low birth weights on the Mugunghwa are related to ambient radiation being outside safe levels. I think this could be the first step in addressing a serious problem. Well, hold off on the proposal for now, but I'll think about it. This is an interesting theory. I don't know if there's any room for funding it, but I do see the importance, he said to me. I do not understand why he did, because near the end of the day, I got the message from him saying that I was fired, effective the end of tomorrow. I feel as though I should have seen it coming, and I suppose the friendliness was cowardice, and an unwillingness to deliver the message to my face. I felt betrayed by his actions. While I was sitting there, stunned, Han walked into my office. I glared at him. He told me that my replacement had yet to be decided, and that he wanted me to put his name in as the most qualified. Who was Han? Was Han the guy who went all creepy rape? Yeah, he was the creepy rape guy, yep. I glared at him more, speechless that he would suggest such a thing. If you don't do it, I'll tell your husband that you... And then he made a vulgar hand gesture towards my mouth. I was sickened. I was angry. My boss treated me as though I had no value and was bad enough, but to be blackmailed by someone like Han was beyond reproach. I'm still angry thinking about it, actually. I wanted to tell him to leave me alone. That I never would. Wait, I wanted to tell him to leave me alone, that I never would. What I really wanted to say was, fuck off. I tried. I was unable to work up the nerve. All I could do was log off my workstation for the last time, watch the image of name Mun on the desk fade away. I did not want him to see it. I tried to storm out of the office, but he grabbed my arm. He said that he meant what he said in a threatening tone. I don't care anymore. Do what you will. I choked out and yanked my arm away. I hurried out, not caring what people thought as I left the department looking upset. His threats were disgusting, but at that moment I felt like they held no power. I had already lost my job, the most important thing to me. If I have no purpose, it is hard to be afraid. I feel stupid and naive for not realizing. The timing could not have been a coincidence, being fired right after delivering my last report. Maybe I should have held on to the report, stalled. Maybe I should have known how precarious my position was. I'm an idiot. Late evening addendum to this diary entry. My husband was very nice and supportive when I delivered the news to him. I have one more day, but I do not think I'll go in, I said. Oh, hell no, of course not. Those bastards don't deserve that, he said, putting his hand on my shoulder. You're so tense. I mean, of course you are. I'm sorry, dear. Turn a bit. I'll give you a massage. I obliged and he started to rub my shoulders. Ah, I said. It felt nice. Thank you. Hey, you know, walk-ins, they happen. That's what happens. Thank you. I didn't know what else to say. Could you ask your family for help? Or could you ask your family for help? Maybe there's some way you could ask, maybe there's something they can do about your old boss. Okay, I see. I thought I was gonna go to boyfriend, but it's like boss. He suggested. He was trying to be helpful, but it unfortunately was not. What does her old boss look like? Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anyone, oh goodness, cannot read. I don't think anyone's wanted to throw around much influence since the family lost the counselorship. There's complicated politics involved. I don't really understand them. I don't understand them, really, I told him. I'll ask my dad, but I'm very confident that it won't help. That sucks, he said bluntly. I agreed with the assessment. I do not know what I'm going to do with my life now, I sighed and admitted. That job was everything, and I'm hardly qualified to do anything else. Everyone else is sitting down and settling down and having kids, but I trailed off. I did not want to offend him by suggesting that I do not want to have kids with him, which is not to say that I do, but I'm young, and I'm sure I'll change my mind in the future. Most people seem to, and I would not assume that I'm any different. But right now I cannot imagine it. Thankfully, he understood. No, of course, honey. There's no need to rush, he said, hugging me tightly. Only when you're ready. Only when you're ready. What? I cannot read right now. What do you want to do now, dear? I mean, if you don't have to worry about jobs or money or anything, what would you be doing? Well, my research is very important. I do not believe anyone else will conduct it. And I think the continued existence of Magungwa society depends on dealing with the problem. But right now, it's not even accepted that there is one, I said. I would continue working on it regardless. It is that important. You should keep doing it. That's important to you. You're a tough girl. I believe in you, he said to me. It means a lot to me that he says those things. I turned around, sat on his lap, and hugged him. Thank you for saying that. I do not know what I would do without you. He kissed me on the forehead, a gesture that I appreciated a great deal. You're right. I am tough. It's important work. I have to keep it even without an official budget. The future of the ship's at stake. Well, I believe in you, sweetie, he said. I truly do not know what I would do without that man in my life. He does really understand the importance of what I was talking about, I know. I've tried to explain without any success, but he is very supportive, but he's very kind and supports me regardless. I have come to realize that that is more important. If I was still single, alone, when I received the news I was fired, I do not know what I would do. I would still be alone in my room crying helplessly. I have no doubt. I have no determination. It is only because of his words that I am convinced that I must persevere. Yes, dear, I mean it. Even if I don't like you reading over my shoulder while I'm writing, he's doing this right now, I will acknowledge that you are the greatest thing in my life, that I am very happy to have married you. Oh, certainly. Feel free to squeeze me tighter. But right now I'm going to start transferring documents from work, such that I can start planning to continue my research on the radiation problem from home. I feel freshly inspired. I may be a naive idiot, but I am determined. I have confidence, and I will be able to prove my case. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so we finished those documents. Coolio. What time are we at? I don't exactly know. Hey, that seems pretty good. You know what? I think we'll extract the documents and then next time start reading. Or, you know what? I think we'll do that next time. I don't know. Just how I feel. See you guys next time. Ciao.